Center in high definition. This is News Channel 8 on your side today.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Rod Carter. Thanks so much for joining us, and welcome to News Channel 8 today.
I'm Gail Guayardo. Today is Friday, February 15th, and the headlines this morning: Sweet Home Alabama. Thousands of passengers stranded on a disabled Carnival cruise ship pulled into the Port of Mobile, Alabama last night. We have team coverage this morning, including reaction from weary passengers and the CEO of Carnival.
The uncertainty is over. Sheriff's deputies in California have identified the charred remains found inside a burned-out cabin as former L.A. police officer Christopher Dorner. Dorner killed 4 people and wounded 3 others in a vendetta against his old police comrades.
Prosecutors in South Africa say they will pursue a premeditated murder charge against Oscar Pistorius. The Paralympic superstar openly wept in court today after being charged with the shooting death of his girlfriend, Reeva Steenkamp.
Strange object in the sky over Russia. People saw this plume of smoke in the sky this morning. They also described feeling a shock wave that shattered windows and injured several hundred people. We're going to explain what caused it and show you some pretty incredible video coming up in just a moment.
We'll have more news headlines coming your way in just a moment.
First, let's get you out the door with a look at your forecast. Storm teammate meteorologist Lee Spann joins us with that. When I got to work this morning, it was already raining, and now soon it's just going to be cold.
Yeah, drizzly, kind of misty this morning. We're waiting on a big cold front that arrives tomorrow. So looking at what's been happening over the last 3 hours, what Rod's talked about, this kind of stream of moisture off the Gulf of Mexico, but also starting to kind of erode the clouds from north to south. And that's where the cooler air is to the north as well. 49 now in Inverness, 48 in Homosassa. We're at 57 Plant City, 58 Fishhawk, 59 in St. Pete, and 59 in Sarasota. By 9 a.m., maybe some light rain out there, certainly cloudy, 58 degrees. Clouds and showers mostly south of I-4 at lunchtime, 64 degrees as we begin to dry out from north to south. Now let's check in on the roadways this morning. How's it looking out there, Leslie?
It's getting a little bit better. I love to start with good news. We had an earlier accident here that was off on the exit ramp off of southbound 275 to 22nd Avenue North. That has completely cleared from the roadway. Hopping over to Hillsborough County, though, new accident, northbound 75 right at Sun City Center, also known as College. It looks like 2 lanes are taken away. Now, we had another accident, you can kind of see it behind here, that was on the exit ramp, and that has cleared. So 2 problem spots in this area. 38 miles per hour right as you approach heading northbound. So keep that in mind. Once you get past it, you're back up to speed. Meanwhile, it looks like they've duped up our accidents here and put doubles, but it's just 1 problem spot, State Road 54 right at Boyette. Be on the lookout for that as well. That's a look at the roadways. Back to Gail and Rod.
All right, thank you. Breaking news this morning. A travel nightmare finally coming to an end. Passengers from that disabled cruise ship that we've been telling you about for a week now have finally reached land after several days stranded at sea. The cruise ship navigated the final miles of its journey back to the United States late last night in Mobile, Alabama. Now this morning, Jay Gray shares the reactions of passengers as they finally return to solid ground.
Finally, a triumphant return.
What's the best feeling?
The end of an emotional, exhausting journey.
We knew we had family and friends home praying for us that got us through.
Prayers answered as passengers and crew members for more than 3 hours poured out of the crippled ship, ironically, in waves. Most pulling luggage, a few in wheelchairs, many still wearing their robes from the cruise ship, an unofficial uniform of sorts for thousands who will forever share a special bond.
We're like a family now. We went through hell.
More than 4 days adrift at sea on a ship tossed by violent waves with no air conditioning, little food, and mounting raw sewage and human waste, the result of only a few functioning restrooms on the vessel.
It was like being locked in a porta potty that had caught on fire 3 days earlier.
A caravan of buses took passengers back to Texas or to hotels in New Orleans, some still trying to come to terms with what they'd been through.
When the electricity went out, the water went out, and our room flooded, it just kind of went downhill, downhill, downhill. I mean, it got to be pretty bad.
Hot shower. my name.
But the smiles, the hugs, the excitement of being back on solid ground serve as clear indications now that the worst seems to be over. Jay Gray, NBC News, Mobile.
And coming up in about 25 minutes on the Today Show this morning, some of those passengers from that stranded ship will recount their ordeal. That's live at 7 o'clock, right after News Channel 8 Today.
Carnival's chief executive officer was in Mobile as Triumph docked just a few hours ago. He spoke with the media and passengers, and News Channel 8's Chip Osowski joins us live from the port of Tampa, where Carnival also sails out of. Chip, I'm sure the CEO had a lot to say.
Well, he certainly did, Gail. He says that Carnival prides itself in providing great vacation experiences, and he says in this case, the company failed. About an hour after the ship docked, around 9:15 p.m. Central Time, a steady stream of passengers began making their way on shore, some in wheelchairs and others pulling carry-on luggage. By around 1 this morning, Carnival tweeted, "All guests have disembarked the Carnival Triumph." The cruise line had said it would take up to 5 hours for all of the 3,000 passengers to get off. Carnival CEO Jerry Cahill apologized at a news conference and later on the public address system as people were getting off that ship.
Now, the most important thing for me at this point in time is to go on board and to apologize to our guests. Once I finish that, I'm going to walk around and I'm going to try and help to expedite the process of getting them off and getting them on their way as quickly as I can. So right now, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go on board and I'm going to apologize to the guests.
The cruise ship lost power after an engine room fire Sunday about 150 miles off Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. Passengers are now getting a full refund, discounts on future cruises, and on Wednesday, Carnival announced that each passenger will also get $500 in compensation. Gail?
All right, thanks, Chip. Carnival has canceled a dozen more planned voyages aboard the Triumph and acknowledged the crippled ship had been plagued by other mechanical problems in the weeks before the engine room blaze.
Undercover detectives used a cell phone tower to help them track down a 911 prankster. The Tampa man allegedly made more than 1,200 false emergency calls in less than 2 months. News Channel 8's Melissa Beckman explains the serious charges he's now facing.
911, what is your emergency? Hello?
Hillsborough County Sheriff's dispatchers have answered about 1,200 calls with silence on the other end, all from the same number since the beginning of this year.
We had to treat every one of those calls as if it was truly an emergency.
The prankster did talk to dispatchers 19 of the times he dialed.
You better put the knife down. I'm telling you that right now.
What was that?
He needs to put that knife down.
Lieutenant Darren Barlow says they were all made-up emergencies.
It taxes us. It's unnecessary. It's outrageous, quite frankly.
The cell phone used wasn't registered with a phone company, which made it difficult to track.
We had a general area based on the GPS that we were getting back from the cell phone, but it wasn't very specific.
Undercover detectives finally pinpointed this business on Tampa East Boulevard. They say 38-year-old Jason Honecker was on the other end of the line. He's now charged with 7 felonies for making false 911 calls, and more charges could follow. In Tampa, Melissa Beckman, News Channel 8.
Honecker's wife told us off camera her husband is a good man who made a huge mistake. She says he found the phone on the ground and never told her he used it to make those 911 calls.
2 former employees of the Tradewinds Resort in St. Pete Beach are accused of stealing more than $780,000 from the resort. Harold James and Sam Bayage were arrested yesterday on grand theft and money laundering charges. James was the former IT director at the resort, and Bayage was his boss and chief financial officer. They're accused of creating shell corporations and embezzling thousands of dollars from 2007 through 2012.
They were billing the Tradewinds for services that they were never receiving, and these monies were actually getting transferred into these accounts for these false corporations that never existed.
James appeared in front of a judge while his lawyer tried to get his bond reduced. He'll have another hearing tomorrow. Bayage was arrested in Miami Beach, where he had a new job as CFO of a different resort. Both men were fired from the Tradewinds last year.
It's 6:39. I'm a week away from running the Gasparilla Distance Classic, and if you're not a seasoned runner, then we'll tell you what you should be doing to prepare a week out.
Then kangaroos running wild on a golf course. We'll show you the video. And a strange object rocked part of Russia this morning. We'll explain what created this plume of smoke and show you new video of the object coming up.
And we've got an accident now that's tying up lanes and causing a slowdown in the Ruskin area on I-75. I've got the details coming up with your True Speed traffic.
The sun is starting to come up, low clouds, kind of drizzly out there. Not a lot of heavy rain. We have some maybe heavier spots down across Highlands County this morning. We checked in with Carol in Carrollwood. She says it's 56 degrees at her house, so slightly cooler than yesterday. But if you send the kids out to the bus stop this morning, you may want to send them out with some kind of rain gear. There might be a little drizzle in the air. 57 degrees this morning. Clearing to the north by the afternoon. High of 69. Showers get pushed to the south. And don't forget the Storm Team 8 is on the radio. You can hear us on News Radio 970 WFLA. And I'll be back to let you know when you're going to get very cold. It's 6:40 and you're watching News Channel 8 today.
How this Bay Area couple took advantage of homeowners. Monday at 6 on News Channel 8.
Everything comes together when you find the right words. The Massage Envy gift card, good for massages, retail products, and a stress-free